The first thing she ever learned about him was his face. Not his name, not his voice, not even his species. Just his face. It appeared as a fragment, an incomplete signal buried deep within the ruins of a dead civilization. Lyra didn't even realize what she had found at first. She was an archivist of the Volari Collective, a being tasked with preserving knowledge from across the galaxy.
Her kind didn't age as humans did.
They evolved slowly, adapted constantly, and remembered everything, which meant that when she saw the image, she never forgot it. It was ancient, far older than the ruins themselves. A corrupted visual imprint encoded into a data crystal that should not have survived time, decay, or collapse. Most of the data was gone, burned away by whatever cataclysm had ended that civilization. But not the image. Never the image. A face. Human. Lyra stared at it for a long time. Not because it was beautiful. Not because it was familiar. But because it felt important. Do you recognize the origin? Her colleague asked. Lyra shook her head slowly.
No, she said.
But I think I'm supposed to. That was the beginning. At first, it was just curiosity. She cataloged the artifact, ran analysis, traced the residual signals embedded within the crystal. The data was fragmented, but there were patterns, repeating sequences that hinted at something larger. Something intentional. This isn't random, she said one cycle. Her colleague frowned. You're suggesting it was preserved deliberately? Yes, Lyra said. Someone wanted this image to survive.
Why?
She didn't have an answer, but she couldn't let it go. Days turned into cycles. Cycles turned into years. Lyra dug deeper. She cross-referenced the image against every known database, every recorded species, every archived civilization. The face didn't match anything. It shouldn't have existed. And yet, there it was. Let it go, her superiors told her. It's an anomaly. Nothing more. But Lyra couldn't, because every time she looked at the image, she felt something shift inside her. Not emotion. Not exactly. Recognition. I know him, she whispered once. But she didn't. Not yet. The first real breakthrough came 53 years later. She found another fragment. A signal.
Weak.
Degraded. But unmistakably connected to the original data. It came from a distant sector, one that had long been abandoned after a spatial collapse rendered most travel impossible. Impossible, her colleague said. That region is unstable. No one goes there. I will, Lyra replied. You're chasing a ghost. No, she said quietly. I'm following a path. She left the collective shortly after that. No one stopped her, because no one believed she would find anything. They were wrong. The journey took decades. Lyra adapted as she traveled, her form shifting subtly to endure different environments, different conditions. She crossed dead systems, navigated fractured space, and decoded signals that no one else could even perceive. And always, the face guided her. It appeared in fragments, in data, in ruins, in echoes. A message scattered across time. Someone had left a trail, and it always led back to him. Who are you? She asked the image one night. It didn't answer, but she felt closer. Years became centuries. Most beings would have given up, would have forgotten, would have moved on. Lyra did none of those things. Because with every fragment she uncovered, the pattern became clearer. This wasn't just a trail. It was a search. And somehow,
she was part of it.
The final fragment was the hardest to reach. It lay beyond the edge of map space, in a region where reality itself behaved unpredictably. Signals bent, time distorted, navigation systems failed. But Lyra didn't rely on navigation systems. She relied on instinct. And the face. When she arrived, she found nothing. No ruins. No signals. No trace of the fragments she had been following for centuries. Just emptiness. For the first time in 300 years, Lyra hesitated. Was I wrong? She whispered. The silence answered. She closed her eyes, and for the first time, she considered turning back. That's when she felt it. A pulse.
Faint.
But real. Her eyes snapped open. There, she said. Not with sight. With something deeper. She followed the pulse. And found it. A structure. Hidden. Not in space. But beneath it. Folded into a layer of reality that most beings couldn't even perceive. Lyra phased into it without hesitation. And everything changed. The structure was alive. Not biologically. Not mechanically. Something else. The walls shifted as she moved, responding to her presence. Light flowed like liquid across the surfaces, forming patterns that almost resembled language. You found it, a voice said. Lyra froze. It wasn't her voice. And it wasn't in her mind. It was real. Who's there? She asked. Silence. Then, a figure stepped forward. Human. Her breath caught. It was him. The face. Exactly as she had seen it for centuries. Unchanged. Unaged.
Real.
You, she whispered. He looked at her with confusion. Do I know you? He asked. The words hit her like a shock. No, she said slowly. But I know you. He frowned. That doesn't make sense. It does, she said. Her voice trembled for the first time in centuries. I've been searching for you. He blinked. How long? She hesitated. Then, 300 years. Silence fell between them. That's not possible, he said. I know, she replied. He looked around, disoriented. I just got here, he said. I don't even remember how I got here. Lyra studied him. You were brought, she said. By who? She gestured to the structure. This place. He looked at the walls, unease creeping into his expression. What is this? He asked. I don't know, she admitted. But I think it's been waiting. For what? She met his eyes. For you. The structure pulsed. Light surged through the walls, converging at the center of the chamber. And then, it spoke. Convergence achieved. The voice was neither male nor female. Neither loud nor soft. It simply was. What does that mean? He asked. Lyra didn't answer. Because she already knew. It means the search is over, she said. The human, he still hadn't given her his name, looked at her. And now what? The structure answered. Initialization. Energy flooded the chamber. Lyra felt it immediately, threads of something vast and ancient weaving through the space around them. What is this? He demanded. A system, she said. Something designed to. She stopped. Because suddenly, she understood. It's a key, she whispered. For what? She looked at him. For everything. The structure pulsed again. Primary interface required. Lyra's gaze locked onto his. It needs you, she said. Why me? Because of what you are. And what is that? She hesitated. Then, the one who connects. He stared at her. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have. The energy intensified. The structure was activating. Secondary interface required. Lyra felt the pull. Stronger this time. It needs me too, she said. Why? She swallowed. Because I found you. The human laughed nervously. This is insane. Yes, she agreed. But it's happening. The structure began to shift. Reality bent. Time stretched. And suddenly, they were no longer standing in a chamber. They were standing in everything. Stars. Galaxies. Threads of existence itself. What is this? He whispered. The network, Lyra said. The foundation of reality. The human turned to her. You're serious? Yes. The structure's voice echoed again. Integration required. Lyra felt it.
The choice.
Once we do this, she said, there's no going back. What happens to us? She met his eyes. We become part of it. Silence. Heavy. Final. He took a deep breath. You searched 300 years for me, he said. Yes. Why? She hesitated. Because she didn't fully understand it herself. Then, I think, she said slowly, I was meant to. He looked at her. And for the first time, he smiled. Then I guess I was meant to be found. The tension broke. Not completely, but enough. Ready? She asked. No, he said. Then, let's do it anyway. They stepped forward together. The moment they touched, everything changed. The network surged. Light exploded across existence. And suddenly, they understood. Everything. The structure. The fragments. The centuries of searching. It had all been part of a system designed to find them. Not individually, but together. Two halves of something greater. One who could find. One who could connect. And, together, stabilize what was breaking. Reality itself. The integration completed. The network stabilized. The fractures healed. And the universe
continued.
When it was over, they stood together. Not in the structure, not in the void, but somewhere new, a place beyond both. You're still you, he said. So are you, she replied. But more. He nodded. Yeah. Silence. Then, he looked at her. You really waited 300 years? She smiled softly. Yes. Was it worth it? She stepped closer. And for the first time, she didn't feel like she was searching anymore. Yes, she said. And this time, she knew it was true, because after centuries of searching, she had finally found him. And together, they had found everything else.